Hey.
You just clean the floor. Look. Clean the floor.
Is life a party, Penny? Hey, what's up guys? We're here today with Frank. We're gonna show you guys how I cook salmon. A lot of people don't like fish, don't like salmon, including myself, and Frank doesn't like it.
I don't like salmon.
I've sort of come up with a way that I cook sweet, spicy, crunchy salmon. That's what we're calling it. We're gonna show you guys how to cook it. I'm big on textures. A lot of people sort of struggle with appetite, maybe in the off season, or don't like to eat. So I found that like sushi rice just tastes a lot better than like basmati or jasmine. I really like to taste the texture, but you guys might like jasmine, you might like basmati. So I recommend trying different rices and seeing what works for you, what you like, what's the easiest or you have an appetite for. We're also gonna be using the sweet with heat and just real salts, Redmond's real salts, and of course our salmon. So we're gonna get started, show you guys how I cook it. Frank, I've tried explaining to him how to cook it, sent him videos over WhatsApp on how I do it, and he can't seem to get it right. So we're gonna try and show him today and see how he likes it.
I'm excited to see if I really can enjoy it, because right now I don't enjoy it. So you guys work credit for me today.
I got organic salmon. Problem is, so if you're like going for taste, I found like, in the off season I'm cooking my salmon, I always like to have like wild meats, grass-fed meats. But the thing is with wild salmon, it's much leaner than Atlantic salmon or even organic salmon, because organic salmon is still technically farmed. So the fish are a lot fattier. So that is a part of what makes this salmon taste so good, is the fact that we're able to cook it in the pan. There's lots of fats. We can kind of sear it, make it crispy. I've tried doing it with a wild salmon, and I can still do it, but it's a lot harder because it's so lean. If you're looking for a good tasting salmon, if you do have an organic one, if you don't have the option for organic, then just your Atlantic salmon would be a good option. So what I like to do first before we put it on the pan is, depending on the thickness of the salmon, like this one here is a little thick, so I'm just gonna carry this over, and I'm gonna, whatever you wanna call this, fillet it.
Fillet, yeah.
All right, so that way it's not too thick. So I'll do that for 2 pieces, one for me, one for Frank.
And you like to use the skin too, right?
Yeah, I keep the skin in there because of the fats on it, and it allows it to get a little extra crisp. But then I'll take the skin off.
Let me ask a question, like, why do you like to include salmon into people's diets so much?
I think it's just a really, really good source of protein, and it has healthy fats in it. And it's easier to digest, I find, than like eating a ton of, like, I don't know, I feel like in a diet you should have lots of variety. I think it's good to eat whole eggs, it's good to eat some beef, it's good to eat some fish, it's good to eat some chicken.
Yeah.
So I think variety is really important. And the fact that, salmon is high in omega-3s is great.
Yeah.
So we have the pans preheating. We're gonna spray that with coconut spray. And I usually like to preheat the pans and get them pretty hot, so when I put it on, it has a good sizzle. And we're gonna put it on the side with the skin first. Hear that sizzle? You need the sizzle. So we're gonna let this, time it out, it's 2:57. I think 2 minutes. We'll flip it, take the skin off, you'll see. Okay, we're at like about 2.5 minutes right now. So we're gonna check it out. It should be like golden brown on the other side. We'll flip it, and you'll see golden brown, starting to crisp. This side of the stove, for some reason, doesn't get quite as hot. But now what I'll do is, once I flipped it like this, I'll actually peel skin off and all the fats on the other side. I'll throw it there for a minute, and all the fat from the skin, and you'll hear it popping, snap, crackle, pop.
Do you think there's a certain time that's better to eat salmon?
I like to eat like my higher fat meals away from training. So typically my pre and post workout meal would be lower in fat. And then I would have your salmon meal, depending when you train. So if you train in the morning, I would have your salmon for maybe meal 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Your first 2, 3 meals around training, lower in fat.
Yeah. I think we talked about it before. Even I know me, I need more fat in my diet. So that's why I'd like to be able to add this, right?
So yeah, it can be very dependent on the person and what they sort of require, how their digestive system works. Because some people, you just give them like chicken and rice, they burn through it, and they feel empty within an hour.
That's how I feel like.
So after we've let this sit in there for a bit, I'll actually just take it off. So yeah, we're gonna let it sit here, sizzle, and what's gonna happen is as it gets cooked through, like you'll see right here, see how it's already naturally starting to flake? You'll see it pulling apart. So we're just gonna sort of lower the heat now. And once it cooks right through, we're gonna sort of pull it apart. See how it's sort of flaking off? Lightly touch it, pull it apart. I'm not used to cooking on this stove here, so it's a little different, the temperature, but it's flaking pretty good. Ideally, this is what you want though, how they flake off like this. If you did this, you nailed it. You're in for a treat. And what I'll usually do is, depending if I was dieting or I was telling a client off season, I enjoy the fat. But what I do is you can even put paper towels out, anything that absorbs the fat, and before you put it on your rice, you can absorb all that fat. So as it's sitting here now, let's just start giving it a couple flips.
Oh, hey!
Hey, oh, hey! You know, and you can see a lot of crisp there.
If the bodybuilding don't work out for you.
You know what? It's funny.
Restaurant.
When I was in grade 7 or 8, we did like some project on like what you want to be when you're older. And it was like I wanted to open my own like restaurant and like food. Yeah, I'm always passionate about food.
It's all on the wrist.
Yeah.
It's all in the hips.
Yeah. We'll now get our good friend here, President's Choice.
So this is like a spicy mustard kind of?
Yeah, I guess it's a sweet.
Because I mean, some people might not have this, right?
Yeah, they call it sweet with heat. So it's like a sweet mustard, but it also has a little bit of spicy to it. We're gonna put this, and what it's gonna do is when you add it, it gets sort of mixed with all the fat in there. And when you give it a couple flips, be really careful with that grease. We're gonna get Frank's rice ready here. How many grams are you eating?
300.
300, 244, 298.
You don't want to do it.
What's gonna do? You're going 303, buddy. 303 today.
Antoine wouldn't have that.
No, it would not fly. A lot of crisp in there. Look at that. It's ready to go. He's gonna love this.
New favorite meal?
I'm telling you, man. I'm really big on Redmond's real salt. I also like pink Himalayan salt. How much salt do you usually put on your meals? Do you measure it or you?
I don't measure. I just put it on.
You just put it on?
Yeah.
So I always do. I put.
Oh, you have a measure, eh?
Yeah, I leave my little buddy in here. He's a 1/4 teaspoon. So I measure it, and I usually do a 1/4 teaspoon. It might be too much for Frank. He's not used to it. So we'll maybe do a little less. But salt really brings out the flavor.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, 10 out of 10. Doesn't taste like fish.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, it doesn't even taste like fish. Right? The texture,
It's weird.
No, it's because salmon, when you usually cook it, and people leave it like thick, and inside it's so soft.
Because it tastes like fishy.
Yeah, it's gross. This tastes like fried. It's like
This tastes like I almost feel like I'm eating
fried chicken or something. It's like fried.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know. Val's addicted to it. I think like Regan's got it down pat. You know, Antoine loves it.
Wow. I told him earlier today, I said, I'm gonna give an honest review. If it's shit, I'm gonna say it's shit. But listen, I got a thing too, but when I eat, like I need to drink water when I eat. And this is like, when something tastes so good, you don't need to have the drink with it. Because that was my trick when I was younger, when I didn't like the meal.
Wash it down.
It was like food, water, like that. Just to get it down. I did that for years. And actually have something, the only thing that's hard to eat now is it's hot. It feels like it has a batter to it almost, and like it doesn't. It's just fish with some sauce on it. You know?
Yeah, you're right. It almost feels like it has like a batter bread.
Like it's a deep fried piece of fish almost.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not only does it taste like it, it feels like it.
Textures go a long way, I'm telling you. First time I've seen Frank finish a meal in less than 10 minutes, I think since we've been friends.
It's getting serious. I'm pretty picky with all my meals.
I think you're the most picky person I've ever met when it comes to food.
But if you think about the way I used to be, I used to eat everything so super plain.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point in my life where I had to have everything. I couldn't stomach them. Well, now my stomach's good. Now I like my food to have some flavor and stuff like that, and finding stuff I like, and it's like.
Well, you've been doing this for 20 plus years. So
yeah, and it's after a while you're like, dude, if I don't like the food, I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think this would really help a lot of people who maybe don't like salmon or having problems with the same kind of thing. I'm sure a lot of people have the same problem. So I gotta say, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You proved me wrong.
Yeah. Told you, man.
The other thing, if you guys just put a little bit of extra work into it, like it wasn't that much extra work.
No, it took us maybe 7 minutes to cook that. It was like 3 minutes aside, and it was pretty quick.
Yeah, so it's like just that little extra bit of attention to it can make it a world of difference.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's important to enjoy your food.
Well, now I'm going to the store after, so I gotta get some salmon for tomorrow.
There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if there's any comments or anything you guys want to see in a future video, comment below, like and subscribe. Until next time, see you later.